Greetings one and all, and welcome! This may not be a fellow Bravers Productions, but this is a Team Yume Productions that has no paradise, but does have a fairies, a Madhog ready to cross this over, along with Jim and I, always your vigilant co-host Devar, are here for this not-so-special podcast crossover.
Was that an introduction?
Yep, I was trying to be theatrical as always.
Yes, okay. Yes. Well, you definitely tried.
Oh, snap!
And just today...
Raw snap!
Today, folks, we will be... because...
Cross the crawler!
So anyway, as I said, I'm Devar, I'm joined by Madhog and Fairies, and our special guest, Jim, from the live reading we did.
From Pennsylvania.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yeah, from the loser casting of Transylvania.
Welcome aboard, and hope you survive this.
Like right by me, right?
And hope you survive this.
Hey, where do you live?
New Jersey.
Oh, sorry. No, not because you're living in New Jersey necessarily, but because I know how much of a fuck up Chris Christie's been.
Anyway,
Well, I haven't disliked the guy. You actually balanced the budget, which, considering we're on the verge of bankruptcy, that's a thing.
and already under my lead, we've already gone off topic.
Okay, we should be talking about crossovers of any kind. So
Yeah.
Anybody, do you have a favorite crossover or something? Or a crossover you'd like to see happen?
Well,
if
I would
it's
like to.
possible?
Well, I would like to say one thing. The reason of why I brought this up is because I thought it'd be quite fun if we talked about crossovers, because I have regained the love for crossovers ever since playing on the 3DS, Project X Zone.
I have that game.
It is completely mindless, the gameplay, isn't it?
And
I know, it's just like, sets itself out as this tactical RPG, except there's like no tactics.
Yeah.
It's totally awesome! Never played it.
And it basically, the biggest thing ever to come out of Japan was, well, not out of Japan, something stayed in Japan called Namco X Capcom, which everyone wanted because
I know that.
it's a cross. Yeah, but it's just for.
I know Namco X Capcom.
I
Yeah.
want it because it has Klonoa in it. Klonoa
I have it.
Klonoa is the best video game character of all time, if you
I
ask.
seriously have it.
You seriously have it.
I seriously have it.
Madhog
And
wants
it's
to
in
rob
Japanese, I imagine.
I have a translated version. It wasn't particularly legal, but I have it.
you. Madhog wants to rob you now.
Madhog want Namco per Capcom.
So anyway, as I was saying, Namco X Capcom, crossover between Namco and Capcom, crossing over different characters in the tactical RPG.
Did you just say Namcom?
No, Namco. And, yeah, tactical RPG with everyone's favourite characters. Problem is, it didn't come out in the West, so everyone was so upset about it, they made petitions for it. But it never came out still.
So then apparently Sega wanted a piece of the action, so Project X Zone.
Yep, and there we have it. We have... and it actually came out into the West for once, because apparently someone in the company thought it'd be a great idea since apparently everyone wanted Namco X Capcom, so why not bring that over? Why not bring Project X Zone over?
I have to ask now, what characters are included in Project OX Zone or whatever it's called?
Jesus. Okay, hold on. We need to bring up Wikipedia for this one.
Okay.
You just asked the question.
What else? What other question I should be asking? I mean, we're talking about a game, crossovers. You reviewed a fight.
Off the top of my head, like, the Sega character, they have Ooh La La in there.
Yeah, the most...
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, the one person next to Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine from Capcom who are probably the most unusual people you'll find in this game.
Yeah, no kid.
Let's put it this way. Unusual choices is going to be the key word here in this podcast for Project X Zone.
Okay, so I have the list of characters.
Okay, you go on while I'll play fitting music in the background.
Oh no.
When no, you can just editing actual music.
I think I may do that. So everyone shut up. Ross reads now.
Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. You had Dante from Devil May Cry.
Awesome
and
character.
Dimitri Maximoff
cool
from Dark
Dante,
Stalkers.
not the wussy redo.
No, not the Wissy reboot. The one that everyone likes, the Dante from.
You know, you guys had one job!
Shh. He's
So you
talking.
had Ryu and Ken Masters from
It's
Street
pronounced
Fighter. Ryu, I'm sorry, I'm American.
Same
I know
thing.
it's terrible.
No, it's.
I've been calling him that since the early 90s. Leave me alone!
Let the guy read. Comments at the end.
Chung Li from Street Fighter and Morgan from Darkstalkers, X and Zero, both from Mega Man X. And here's one of the strangest pairings, Frank West from Dead Rising and Cien Ko, or Lele, depending on your region, from Darkstalkers. Then you have Kurt Irving and Ryla from Valkyria Chronicles 3.
Yes.
Valkyria Chronicles represent.
So you have Ichiro and Sakura from Sakura Wars. And then you have Gemini and Erica from Sakura Wars as well. I don't know if that's...
I actually, yes, I played that game. I played Sakura Wars 5. So it's the one game that it's the one thing in which they butchered Hamlet. So I never forget it. I recently posted a top 5.
You're breaking your own rule, Madhog. Shut up.
I thought you were finished.
He's not.
There's more.
There's more.
Many more.
You asked for it, Madhog. You're getting it.
Oh, whatever. Please finish this.
Akira and Pai from Virtua Fighter. Toma and Cyril from Shining
Zero.
Force EXA.
Oh,
Zero?
yes.
Zero.
Yes, Ciriella.
Okay. So there's Zephyr and Lenane from Resonance of Fate. Then there's Yuri and
Estelle.
Elpius.
Estelle. It's, just say Estelle. Estelle is like a nickname of that name.
From Tales of Vesperia. Then there's Jin Kazuma and Ling from Tekken. You have Kite and Black Rose from the Dot Hack series. Cosmos and Telios from Xenosaga. You have Soma and Elisa from God Eater. You have Hawking and Kaguya from Endless Frontier. And then you have the two characters from Namco X Capcom that no one cares about. Oh, and that's not even all of them. Now we have the solo units. Teams. So you have Lady from Devil May Cry, Jury from Street Fighter 4, Tron Bond from Mega Man Legends, Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, Devilot from Cyberbots, Batsu from Rival Schools. Surprised Rival Schools got some love in this. Then you have Imka from Valkyria Chronicles 3, Ulala from Space Channel 5, you have Vashran from Resonance of Fate, then you have Bruno from Dynamite Cop, then Rikia from Zombie Revenge, I thought what is that? Then you have Genghis Bond 3 from Fighting Vipers. Seriously, that's a character. Then there's Flynn from Tales of Vesperia, Elisa from Tekken, Heihachi from Tekken, Sanga from Super Robot Wars Original Generations, Lindo from God Eater, Valkyrie from Valkyrie no Boken, Seiya from Namco X Capcom, and then the character that no one would ever see coming, Medneko from Yumeria.
Yeah.
Are you actually done?
Yes, that's it.
Now,
Hallelujah! My God,
yes.
Ross, I have to ask. This is not a fighting game, right?
This is not a fighting game. This is a quote-unquote tactical strategy game.
So there is an actual story.
Yes.
Yes, there is a story to this.
I have to ask now.
Yeah.
What in the world are they going to do with all these characters in one story?
Apparently, they inhabit the same world, kind of. There's like different dimensions of it. But if any of these characters take place on like modern Earth, then they're there. Like for example, the characters from Resident Evil are aware of all the characters from Tekken, for example.
Ross, I am asking, how will they ever find the actual physical space to expand on one of all these characters individually or as a group? I mean,
they really don't. They're like, "Hi, I'm such and such." Like, okay, we don't get to know your deal, but come with us and kick ass.
Is there level grinding?
No, it's actually there's no grinding in this game. You basically have to clear. Basically, you don't have repetitive maps essentially. So it's basically very linear. You have each map as a challenge, and you either pass or fail, and then it goes on to the next map with some story in between.
Okay, Rod, can we actually talk about something that's not Project OZ X Zone?
It's actually Project Frost Zone, technically.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't care.
I was gonna say.
How about we talk about stuff that we did get? Shall we?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say one.
There's a game in Japan called Heroes Fantasia. It's a game that came out on the PSP, and you'll not believe the freaking list of anime characters that got into this.
There are Slayer's characters in it, right?
Oh, there are Slayer's characters.
Damn, I love the Slayers.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
No, please, Ross, let us not go there. I cannot possibly survive another listing.
Yes, let's not try.
Okay, let me just list the franchises.
Oh,
yes, list the franchises.
Kind of. So it's Sorcerer's Stabber Orphan, Read or Die, Rune Soldier Louis, Blood Plus, Slayers, mayhem, Darker Than Black, and Sergeant Frog.
Sergeant Frog and Darker Than Black in the same game.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, that sounds okay. I would buy this game.
And this is a game that never came out here.
I know.
That is just.
Obama.
That is.
Shut up, Jim Bevan.
I'm just messing with you. We're not getting that, but this isn't that big a crossover. We are getting Persona Q in a few months.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome because Persona 3 and 4 are some of the best JRPGs of the last decade, so to have those cats coming in together.
Definitely 4, although Madhog is a Persona virgin.
I'm a Persona virgin
wow,
too.
Wow, Ross, thank you for that. I mean, wow, that's not insulting at all.
Well, I'm a Persona virgin too because I never liked Persona.
Well, the problem was in the old world, the release was extremely expensive. No, I mean seriously, like the PAL Territory version is like $40-50 on PlayStation.
Did you just say Persona as an Atari version?
What?
You said Atari version. That's what I get.
No, I meant to say PlayStation 2. I don't know.
The Atari version of Persona. Wow,
I'm sure it exists somewhere.
Beep beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop boop. And now I won. Okay, can we talk about crossovers that are not in video games?
Well, yeah, we will do. But I wanted to add one thing about Project Cross Zone before, because all the character choices, like I was going to say earlier, I was actually going to praise Sega for not trying to shoehorn Sonic in this, but I also have to be mind-boggled of how come they don't have him in at the same time. Because Mega Man's in it. You could have had both Sonic and Mega Man. 2 blue bombers.
Smash.
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog is not in the next Smash.
Yeah, he is actually.
Okay, then whatever.
So, yeah, that's the one thing I was actually praising, but at the same time I was like, thinking, why isn't he in? It's like, so weird. The feelings. The only problem with Project X Zone is that you can also tell they didn't really put much thought into the story, as well as the character designs can be a bit over the top. as well.
But
Yeah.
let's be honest. What kind of a sensible narrative can you actually concoct from such a ridiculously huge crossover? Anyway, it would
Yeah, you
make.
really can't. You can't do much with that.
And this is
I mean, worst case scenario, that PSP Final Fantasy fighting game.
Dissidia.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to bring it to Dissidia now. First one was good because it was actually decent for a fighting game and had a story that was okay-ish, except for Chaos's motivation for destroying the world is apparently the great chaos is destruction of the world.
Lame.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Since we're talking about Final Fantasy and video games, of course we cannot not talk about Kingdom Hearts at this point.
Yeah, right. That's the natural segue.
Yes.
What's there to say about Kingdom Hearts that no one hasn't said already?
Well, I have something to say about it.
Overcomplicated.
Well, no, the first one was pretty much spot on. It was just the experience the game wanted to capture is you looking in awe at all these things happening in front of you. These Final Fantasy characters with beloved Disney franchises, and the plot was simple, cheesy at times, very cheesy at times, but at least it was simple.
A heart is made for light.
Yeah, whatever. Then it came the second game.
I never played it, honestly.
Okay, I'll tell you what, it has a plot worse than the entirety of Metal Gear Solid, and then saying something.
Yeah, that says a lot from...
Also, my gosh, the dialogues and the moments of awkwardness. I mean, you can have moments in which awkward silent moments with Disney characters, and in the next scene you have extremely gay moments with Riku and Sora. I mean, wow, it's like they're actually encouraging fanfictions at this point. And that's
like, why not?
And that's rich because Kingdom Hearts is already a giant fanfiction made into a video game series.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, that pretty much is that sort of thing.
I mean, I've only played 2 Kingdom Hearts games, quite honestly. I played the original, and then I played Birth by Sleep on the PSP, because face it, if you own the PSP at that point, there's really nothing else to play.
Well, there is Corpse Party.
Well, that wasn't out by that point.
Oh, and at some point there was that thing, what's it called? The super unloosing hero.
Don't remind me. I don't like roguelikes.
Or you could have gotten the even worse worse sequel of Dissidia 012.
I own that.
It is worse.
Okay,
than the first one.
Can we actually switch media?
We will do, but I want to say something first because it has to do with lightning in it, and it has to do with 2 of our characters because story is, and they had the goal to also put in the entire first game of Dissidia into that package as well. Meaning, if you wasted money on the first one, you should have bought the second one, and.
But here's the thing, I didn't buy the first one.
Yeah, that was good for you, but...
I bought the second one.
That's good for you, Ross, but...
Exactly.
But put it this way. Did you notice something very, very weird about the entire story of Dissidia 12, Ross, in general?
The fact that it's a Final Fantasy game and therefore its story is piss poor by basis?
No!
Oh, snap!
No! It's the fact of the latest trend that Square seem to be even still doing to this day. Do I have to spell it out?
No, you don't. Please don't.
Lightning.
Okay, you know what? Whatever. Lightning is the least of the problems of the new Final Fantasy.
Are you kidding? She is being shoehorned into almost anything and been shoved down our throats. In Dissidia 12, they took Kain from Final Fantasy 4 and Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy 1, 2 warriors who would never give up in the sight of any danger, of any despair-ridden hopelessness, and they basically made them cowards, made them go for the easy road that basically said, you know what, maybe we should just go to sleep. We shouldn't face the enemy.
And that's why I play Terra.
And all this just to basically say, Lightning was right. She has to be right.
Actually, I have a bone to pick with Final Fantasy VI, since you mentioned Terra.
Really? Okay, that's odd. The fact
Yeah,
that they made a sequel to it after they've made a sequel to fucking everything else.
Except 9.
Terra is a terribly written character.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm despite the fact that I like the character, I'll kind of give it to you. She's easily the weakest written character in the game.
Yeah, she doesn't have much to do in the game, in presence-wise. That's all.
It is kind of sad. She's the main hero, and yet she kind of gets.
Actually, the strange nature of this game, there wasn't really a certified, specific, constant main character in this game. I mean, all the others game, you have this one main character that it's the main character because he's always visible in the map, while everyone else actually magically enters their butt from the behind. It's the main character because it's a constant presence in the overworld. And in here, she is not. I think actually, that other girl, the blonde one, Celeste was a much better main character.
Celeste is an enjoyable character, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
But at the end, the story really isn't about her at all. Like, that's the problem. She's not... The story doesn't center around... Like, her story, I should say. It's kind of a side story. It doesn't have anything direct to do with the base conflict.
That did not stop Tidus from Final Fantasy X from existing, didn't it?
Yeah, but this was one Square Enix could actually write.
Okay, you know what?
We should carry on. This.
There exists a CD hack of Final Fantasy VI called Pony Fantasy VI.
No!
I thought we could get away with it.
It's actually pretty terrible because the guy who made this didn't take into account that completely different characters from a different world would act in different ways, but it still forced them into a predefined narrative that was meant for other characters entirely. And
by the way, I'm just throwing this out there. Chrono Trigger way better than Final Fantasy VI. Saying I still attest that Final Fantasy VI is the best of the Final Fantasy series.
I think not. That honor is for Final Fantasy IX.
I would agree with that. But
I'll tell you, Final Fantasy IX is the only Final Fantasy game I actually like of all the Final Fantasies I've played.
I think we've talked.
I haven't played 13, so there's that.
Yes, and I tell you this, I still liked 13 more than 8.
Yeah, 8 was annoying. I will give it that. But, okay, so let's talk about the stupidest crossover I've ever seen.
What's the stupidest crossover you've seen, then?
Hyper Dimension Neptuna.
Oh!
Okay.
It's a true story. I had to buy the game the other day for the sole purpose of doing a skit about how stupid it is.
Well, why? Now you won't be able to... I mean, hopefully you bought it used, because if you bought it
used... I did buy it used. The thing's expensive.
Guys, I played 2 Neptunia games. Not 1, 2.
Oh.
You played 2 of them?
Well, actually, I played 1.5. Actually, I played 1.5. The first one was the most dull and boring gaming experience of my life. The second one had a decent fighting sequence, but that's the only decent thing that was there, because everything else was so forgettable. It's not even worth talking about it. But the
let's just say I have a big plan for Neptuna in the future. I'm not going to say exactly what it is in the podcast, but believe me, I have a plan for it.
Oh, you know there is an anime of Neptunia?
Yes, I actually knew about that.
Oh,
my gosh, I've seen half an episode of that. My gosh.
just
It is the worst written story I have ever seen, and beyond that,
it is also the
most
most
insulting in some ways, especially
the most
Yuki.
insulting. It is the most insulting, heavy-handed, lazy allegory about the video game console war ever devised.
And then they make the freaking third game, in which case, where they prove they know absolutely nothing about gaming history.
Like the irate gamer.
Don't you mean gaming history altered?
Maybe might have something to do with it.
Let me just ask you, Ross. Is their comprehension of the history better or worse than the irate gamers?
I would say it's actually worse.
Wow, that is something.
By a lot. Okay, so let me try to set this up for you. The third game is set in 1989. Set in 1989.
yes.
The PlayStation and the Xbox One are walking around. Like the original Xbox, not like the newest Xbox.
Don't you mean the lean box?
Yes, no.
And then the PC Engine, the second biggest console that existed at its time, is a side character.
No.
Wah, wah, wah. What about the Commodore?
Not there.
Oh, you gotta be,
The billing is the Atari 2600.
oh, you've got to be kidding me!
This is probably worse than that other one that celebrated the war against Nintendo and Sega anime.
Oh no, I know that one. Please no, please no.
What?
They killed off Tails.
Yes, they killed off the representation of Tails.
Wow, that pisses me off instantly.
And the master of the person who represents Sonic is a representation of Tetris, whose only thing is to basically say everything must fit into place. And he signals this by putting his finger and thumb into a donut shape and a single point through the middle.
Like, I'm missing something here. I didn't know about this.
You better off not knowing.
The hell? Like, the hell?
Ross, you know the guys who make the abridged series of Sonic X?
Yeah.
Sonic Paradox team. They made one riff of the first episode of that series. Go watch that. Do not watch the actual thing.
I don't even know what it's called. How can I?
I don't remember. It's a complicated Japanese title. I don't care to remember. So
yeah, I've only seen like 2 episodes of this, and this is like, I don't know what to say about it. It's just so weird seeing people
Coming from anime, that's
Yeah.
Okay, guys, can we talk about other crossovers from other media?
Yes, I think we've been talking about games.
Anime.
I got
Getting there.
a great one.
I want to talk about.
No, you go ahead.
What about?
No, you go at first.
What is it,
I
Jim?
want to suggest one of my favorite webcomics, Something Positive, knows how to do a lot of epic crossovers.
It's not Bleed Man, is it?
What? No, it's not Bleed Man.
Oh,
It's,
good.
Randall Milholland. But it's like, if there's a webcomic with human characters in it, there will be a crossover at some point. Like, Helen, one of the cast members from Penny and Aggie, moves to Boston and gets involved with the characters there. Several of the characters attend a wedding, and in the webcomic, girls with slingshots. I'm trying to think what else there. They sometimes have background cameos in strips like Short Packed and Something Positive.
What is that it all?
Well, it's not all. I'm just giving you
Okay.
the basic version because you'd have to go through the entire archives to see all the
Okie dokie.
cameos.
Okie dokie then. There we go. A recommendation for a crossover webcomic. I have no idea what he's talking about, so don't mind me if I seem blank here right now, but...
Yeah, he's kind of going in the territory I don't usually tread, so...
So let's
Don't
go
like
on to...
webcomics?
Let's go on to one territory that I'm sure Madhog will love. Hanna-Barbera crossovers.
Oh yes,
Wacky races.
We're talking like
Okay, so the first ever crossover I've ever been, most people has ever been exposed to has to be the Flintstones meet the Jetsons.
wasn't mine, but still, it was my second.
Well, actually, funny thing, they actually broadcast that film today on Boomerang here on Skype. So I got to see a glimpse of it.
I must admit, for two shows that are very similar to each other, I guess it was okay for a crossover between families and the future and the past meeting together.
But I like the idea how the Flintstones would act in the future and how the Jetsons would act in the past. That's the basic hook of it. It works at a fundamental level if you know the characters and the shows. Oh, of course.
I loved the Jetsons as a kid. I really did. I always loved its view of the future.
Ross, meet Jetson. Sing with me.
Meet Josh Jetson.
No, I'm not in a singing mood. My mind is blinking. Actually. But on the other hand, I hate the Flintstones. I hate it.
Why?
It's one of the most boring shows I've ever seen.
Jetsons.
Like, the only reason I liked the Jetsons is because I was kind of in wonder of, the technology and its view of the future. But with the Flintstones, it was just like, no, I wasn't digging it.
You do realize that the Flintstones and the Jetsons are basically the same.
They're essentially the same show. Just one's prehistoric with talking animals, and one has like super futuristic plots and technology.
The historic setting and the futuristic setting are serving as an allegory of as a paradigm of today's societies. Of course, so yes, it's basically the same show. Actually, I think I like the Flintstones a little bit more because, well, for starters, I've been exposed first to the Flintstones, then the Jetsons, of course. I'm talking about the classic 1960s series, because the classic 1960s series of both the Jetsons and the Flintstones were shows meant for an adult audience on Prime TV.
Yeah.
So they actually aged far better than most of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And then you have the reboots in the 70s and the 80s, which were just for they were as pandering and as idiotic as they could possibly be.
Yeah. Like Back to Bedrock? No. I didn't even like it the first go around.
Another thing, but they made a buttload of crossovers involving the Flintstones.
They made a buttload of crossovers in general in Hanna-Barbera. I mean, look at the crossovers of, say, Yogi Bear with a flying ship that got...
Remember that?
Yeah, there was two versions of that. There was like one called Yogi's Treasure Hunt, I think it was called, where Top Cat was the person on a wireless TV screen phone or something, telling the gang where to go and such.
Yeah, I did not get that. Why was Top Cat the cue of the situation?
I don't understand that either. It's like such a weird thing, especially for someone who was like based on Sergeant Bilko in an alley.
No less. Man, Hanna-Barbera. Then you get into the 90s before they became Cartoon Network's bitch.
And then there was the one...
Warner Bros. Owned their behind. They ruined everything systematically.
And there was that other...
They ruined Tom and Jerry already more than they were ruined already by Hanna-Barbera themselves with Tom and Jerry Kids and all the stupid things.
God, I hate that show.
The stupid things from the 70s. You know, Tom and Jerry only worked in its own time because they had actual talented people working on it.
I'll still never forgive them for not finishing Pirates of Darkwater.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
You had to bring that one up.
Yeah, that's a sore spot.
Yes.
That's my, 6-year-old, fascination just ruined.
I know, I love that show. Pirates of Darkwater, and then it got cancelled.
It was basically Monkey Island in a fantasy land.
Well, Monkey Island didn't have as many people die.
Shows like that. You still don't get kid shows like that.
I know.
Have you ever seen Samurai Jack?
I've seen Samurai Jack enough to know that Samurai Jack really annoys me for being overpowerful like Hokuto no Ken Shiro.
Really?
Gotta go back to the past, Samurai Jack.
Oh yeah.
But, actually,
Samurai Jack.
some crossovers...
I don't know, a character that I've always felt was overpowered that, to the point that bugs the shit out of me is Ranma and Ranma 1/2. God damn this thing.
Actually, you know what? You know the old lady, Baba or Baba,
Yeah, I know the old lady.
and the super perverted, unknown.
Yeah, I know.
They're actually far more powerful than they are, and the old guy actually, when he gets serious, the old guy is actually more powerful than anyone else. So Ranma is actually not the most overpowered character in that show. And
I know, but like, okay, you have to keep in mind that these two characters don't come in until the middle of the second season. So till that point, he is 100% invincible.
I think that's part of the joke of the overall joke of the show, which is kind of making fun of pre-established roles of males and females in Japanese society through an allegory that goes way over the top with the the sexual innuendos. But
Still love shampoo though.
I must
Yeah,
admit,
sure.
I must admit, one of the most strangest crossovers I've seen, actually. Well, actually, not.
We're talking about crossovers here.
Yeah. Yeah, stay on topic, guys. Was any crossover like, say, the one before Treasure Hunt with the Yogi Bear gang again, where they made an obvious allegory and well, it's not an allegory anymore if it's actually shoved down your throat about the environment.
Oh no! And
At least freaking Pirates of Darkwater was subtle about it.
Yeah.
you know what other show was subtle about it?
What?
Sonic Satan.
Yeah. Actually, I use that to describe Pirates of Darkwater to people that don't see it. Basically, it's kind of as subtle as Sonic Sat AM, only it had a better storyline that was never finished.
You know what else was subtle about the environment? Laputa, Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
And the anime that inspired Laputa, the Castle in the Sky, which is Future Boy Conan, made in the 70s. It was the first original show by Hayao Miyazaki. And not a lot of people knows that, and I am insulted that they don't know about it. So
Okay, my question is, when is there going to be a Miyazaki crossover work? Like, come on!
Okay.
a fighting game. I would like to see Princess Mononoke to be... Picture this.
Studio Ghibli's going to get right on that.
Picture
Although
this.
I have seen Stranger, like Aquapaza.
Picture this. Princess Mononoke versus...
Porco Rosso.
Yeah, versus Porco Rosso.
Well, it can't be as weird as Aquapaza, which
No, seriously, Aquapaza is probably the strangest fighting game I have ever seen. Okay.
the only
So
two I reckon.
Plus, they
Yeah.
make visual novels. Many of the characters in there, especially the popular ones, have no discernible fighting ability whatsoever.
Yeah, Two Hearts
So We're
2.
going to make a fighting game based on this.
Yeah,
It happens.
yeah.
I
The
mean,
only two
you know-
series that actually has and makes sense with to be crossed over each other is Utuero Ono and Tears to Tiara because they
And
have.
of course, at this point,
Combat characters.
the natural segue would be Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, okay.
Marvel
But,
vs.
like, again,
Capcom.
it's one of those things that, like, what is there to say about it?
Easy. Marvel vs. Capcom was okay. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Although I the fact that you can take down Galactus with a lead pipe with Mike Hagar.
So that's cool.
Yes, that is cool. As Phoenix Wright with the papers.
Yes, right. Take my papers.
Oh, speaking of guys, speaking of it's right, I would like to talk about one of the, if not the best, crossover I've actually watched in years. A crossover between Phoenix Wright and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
No!
No!
Professor
no,
Layton.
No, let's go back to ponies.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. The thing is like 5 episodes for a total of 7 hours. And it's actually one of the most exciting crime dramas I've seen. It made me actually understand the appeal of the Phoenix Wright series. It actually combines quite well with the lore and pre-existing logical rules in the universe of Equestrian, which he had to learn from the very beginning in order to solve one very intriguing murdery crime mystery, which with a fantastic twist at the end. It's
Wait a minute, murder happens in Equestria?
apparently it can,
With flowers
but
and...
that's part of the twist. Anyway, so and then it's the second most.
I guess that would be like the first question. Like, wait a minute, people can die here?
Yeah, they could if they actually bother to.
Wait a minute, people die when they are killed? Right?
That's amazing.
And here I was hoping you were going to say Professor Layton with Phoenix Wright, since that's coming out at some
Yeah,
point.
I thought I saw that coming too, but no, like curveball.
Okay, so, what I'm saying is Turnabout Storm, which is the title of the whole thing, is actually quite good for what it is, especially for what it is. It's surprisingly solid. It's interesting. It's well, good actors, and from an aesthetic point of view, it's similar to a Phoenix Wright game with some cool animations from it and a story that really holds you on the seat. It's the second most exciting crime drama I've ever seen. The first one would be the actual Phoenix Wright movie, directed by the greatest director who ever lived, Takashi Miike.
I think we're at 41 minutes now, so I think we best need to wrap this up. We talked a lot, but at the same time, it's like...
You have no idea how many more crossovers there are to talk about.
Yeah, there's
It's
tons.
insane.
I mean,
You
we
know
could...
what? We should talk about crossovers we actually want to see.
I actually was gonna say that. What crossover would you like to see, Madhog?
You go first.
Okie dokie. The one crossover I would love to see, personally, up from the top of my head, is Final Fantasy with Tales of series. That would be cool, so cool in my opinion. The past Final Fantasy characters I enjoyed seeing with Tales of characters that I enjoy seeing today. I mean,
You do realize they will shoehorn lightning in it.
yeah, that's a small price.
That's a small price.
A small price.
They probably give her a leading role.
No, they can't.
She will overshadow all the clouds and all the
Tituses and Zidans.
Titus is very easy to overshadow, but no one tops Lloyd.
Lloyd Irving and his wonderful, wonderful brain.
Oh, Lloyd. Oh, that guy. Okay, Lloyd is the kind of guy you meet on the road and you meet on the street and say, ha ha ha, this guy.
Okay.
This guy.
Well, speaking of crossovers with Tales of actually has the best crossovers, in my opinion.
Well, at least it has crossovers with all its freaking characters that kind of make sense, unlike freaking Final Fantasies.
Well, yeah, not only that, they also make the stories original most times and actually have a point as well.
And you even make your own self-insertion character in them.
Yeah, in Radiant Mythology series you can anyway. But in games like Tales of Versus, they created a whole original world for all the franchises to be in one world. That is such great effort and hard work.
Actually, that sounds like exactly what I did when I wrote my Sonic the Hedgehog mega fanfiction all those years ago.
Fanfictions do
Okay,
not count.
We're slightly getting off topic here.
Yes,
so let's move it to Madhog.
That's Madhog. What's your...
And that involves ponies.
I'm going last. You go first.
Okay, Ross, you go.
Okay, me?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. I want to see Shin Megami Tensei versus Pokemon.
That'll never happen.
No, I can't see
It'll
that.
never happen. That's why I thought Dream Crossover.
Okay, Jim, how about you? What's your dream crossover you want to see?
Okay. It's not a game, but one of my ideal dream crossovers would be Detective Conan, Monk, and Psych.
Weirdest crossover ever.
They're three of my favorite mystery series.
Are you aware that there was a crossover between Detective Conan and Lupin the Third?
Yes,
Yes.
I have heard. I've been trying to...
It's stupid. It's really, really stupid. And
Do you know that there's a crossover between the Slayers and Orphan?
Is there one?
Yes, there is one.
Where can I watch it?
It's a light novel,
Oh.
but it exists.
Okay, you know what? I've actually seen the best crossovers I could hope for in fan fictions already. But if I had to get a wish right now, I really, I'd like to see Futurama with Red Dwarf, for example.
Yes.
Futurama and Red Dwarf. Makes sense, but different mediums.
Who cares? Who cares? Make it all a cartoon. Or what? I mean, it wasn't a problem when they made a crossover between Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron.
How about Phineas and Ferb with the Avengers?
Except it was terrible, but that happens. Also, I'd like to see a crossover between a comic known as Heavenly Nostrils with Friendship is Magic, because it seems the most natural thing that could ever happen.
How about Yu-Gi-Oh! With freaking My Little Pony Friendship is Magic?
They did it! They did it already!
In fan fiction, right?
No, in actual animation.
Fan animation?
Animated animation, I'm sure.
Oh, there are a crap load of animations and fan fiction, but the animations, there are so much and so many and so high quality on YouTube, they enhance the standards overall. But they did a Yu-Gi-Oh! My Little Pony fanfic.
Because friendship.
Oh, because okay, so there is in this animation there is what's the Yugi Sparkle.
Oh no!
Fighting
I
against.
can imagine Twilight Sparkle with the Yugi hair.
Yes, she has, and it's awesome. She's fighting against Pinky Kaiba. And okay.
No.
Of course, all the creatures they summon, they resemble background ponies. So and the ultimate, beast that the
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
It's actually Celestia, and now one of the legendary cards.
The Egyptian gods. I get you.
Like the one that seems like a giant pharaoh thingy.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
That is Celestia in the animation.
The word.
Okay, so one last thing. I just want to highlight one crossover that actually does exist.
Yeah.
That's outside of all the other media that we talked, is the crossover card game Blaze Swords.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yes.
The one you're completely obsessed over.
Yes, that one. Why do you think I would mention it?
I don't know.
So we have Disgaea, Vocaloid, Sword Art Online, Fate Zero, and Bakemonogatari so far.
Speaking of this Gaia, am I the only one who wants to see a fighting game featuring all the Disgaea characters?
I'm hit on you with that one too. That would be pretty awesome if they did that, because they pretty much have a good backlog of characters, and they
have most overpowered, over-the-top moves ever.
Yes.
Well, basically, I like to describe this guy as DBZing hell.
Oh, Disgaea
That's basically what it turns into.
Disgaea and DBZ against each other.
Actually, I think it's several layers more clever than DBZ ever were, so...
Yes, it does, especially black humor. But I was going to say, imagine DBZ versus Disgaea.
Wait a minute, guys. I have something here I want to share with you. Wait a minute.
Do you mind if I just say something quick?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
This is not to sound rude, but every time a Brit pronounces Z as Z, my mind always goes to Lord Zed from Power Rangers.
Not again!
Nice.
It's obvious, but I just had to point it
Yeah,
out.
I know.
And I have one more question to ask.
What would that be?
If you guys call cookies biscuits, what do you call biscuits?
We just call them biscuits, and cookies are the cookie chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys.
Yeah?
So you mentioned DBZ and Disgaea. You made me think of a graphic novel Akira Toriyama wrote, which is a one-shot, called Sandland, which might actually have inspired Disgaea, because the story in it, because it's a pretty good comic, good manga. I should recommend it to you. So there is this prince, son of Satan, in a post-apocalyptic future Sandland, who's actually very cocky and goes with a ragtag band of demons and both demons and humans, and goes on an adventure. And it's a lot similar in story of the first Disgaea game. And it came first, so I wonder if the story of Disgaea was actually inspired by this Sandland manga by Toriyama.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised
There's
either.
similarities, and it's an interesting thing. I would I recommend you to read Sandland, because it's probably easily the most clever thing Toriyama ever written, which isn't saying much, but, you know...
But to be fair, the original Dragon Ball was clever until it ran too long.
Well, it was rather simple. Yes.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we've been going for 50 minutes now, so any final thoughts before we close on crossovers?
You know, do you know the difference between a crossover and a hybrid?
Crossovers means you take two worlds and clash them together, while hybrid just means you just merge them.
Yes, that's right. So in hybrid, you can have a story set in a universe specifically, but with elements from another universe altogether implemented into the digests. You know, like Fallout Equestria or Silent Ponyville or all other things.
Yeah.
You know, because most people don't know that, and they confuse something that's a hybrid for a crossover, but never vice versa. So.
Yes. So, any final thoughts from you two?
This wasn't as big a waste of my time, I should say, as the fanfiction reading.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And Kickstarter, plugging it. Yay, I have a Kickstarter for Fanboy Fairies. Please, we need money. Making a great show.
Jim.
Thanks.
Okay, Jim. How about
Well,
you?
we did spend 1/3 of this podcast reading a freaking list.
Yes, well, for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
I'll play some epic music over that.
Okay, Jim, you have anything to say?
Yuki Kajiura.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, Jim.
Yoko Kano then. Whatever.
Are we done, Jim? Can we talk? Final thoughts?
I have to pee. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Great final thoughts!
Whatever. Let us end this podcast on this high note.
Yes, so remember, folks, donate to Fanboy Fairies, and I'll see. Also, avoid Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because let's face it, there's no epic story in it. There's just arcade mode, and
Also, read Sandland and watch Community.
And remember, if you're going to go into a crossover, just take it with a pinch of salt and enjoy, unless it's really terribly written, like 012, like the City or 012.
Will you ever let that one go?
I
No!
believe it's called Duodecim, but whatever.
I just say Dissidio 012 just because it's easier, but anyway.
You know, guys, now that I think about it, we had this long overdue Megas XLR review to do, don't we?
Yeah, that thing.
Yes, we need to do that. So let's get off this podcast now. So, see you later, folks, and take care. I have been Devar.
On the dark waters.
I'm been Devar.
I have been Fairies.
I've been annoyed.
And this has been...
I'm back from the bathroom.
It's just in time for the final greetings.
Yeah, so say goodbye.
Closing.
Jim, you're gonna say bye.
I thought I already did. Okay, bye.
So, see you next time, folks, and take care.
And our misery.
Crossover over.
Crossover over.